Before I start, I just want to say I am not an influencer or promoter. I am not getting paid. Literally no one watches my videos, but if you do, I appreciate you. So I can talk about the good and the bad. I'm just a normal person talking about my interests. So this isn't going to be an Agefield High as a coming of age game that works like this and you can do this. But I'm also not a hater who's going to blindly shit on it. In fact, I'm going to defend it a little and express why I'm excited and share some of my predictions for the storyline. And say that they have the chance to do something special and make this a hidden gem rather than a it's so bad it's good game. But I would rather it be a it's so bad it's good game than just plain bad. I'm not expecting much, but I also hope they don't let me down because I have been a defender of this game since the first trailer dropped. The studio responsible for this game was also responsible for the Grey Hill incident, which is not a good game. And Agefield High is such a vastly different genre that, yeah, I am a bit worried, but it also does look better than Grey Hill, so maybe they've learned a little. There's only going up after that incident. I'm really excited for this game to come out. I've seen some comments say that this seems like an asset flip, and although I can see it, it also seems like it's a passion project instead of a skill project. It's very clearly inspired by Bully, we all know that, and we are never getting a Bully 2. And Bully has such a very specific type of gameplay that is very hard to find. Even the Grand Theft Auto games are different. They don't satisfy that Bully itch. However, I don't think it's a full-on Bully ripoff, since I've actually seen some tweets by the devs that say it's more like a game version of American Pie. And Bully is not American Pie inspired. It is quite fitting, though, that this is coming out 20 years after Bully, though. The elephant in the room is how the game and the characters look. Some have said it looks like one of those porn games, and others have said it looks like a fake game a character in a movie would be playing. And obviously a lot have said it looks like AI. However, the reveal trailer released before using AI in the gaming industry was as big as it is now and not as normalized to use now. I'm sure they started working on this game before the big AI boom started. It is an indie company. And if they used AI, don't you guys think the character models would look better? Isn't that the whole point of AI, to make things look good without having to put a lot of effort in? But this is what I mean by I think it's a passion project over skill project. Passion over skill. Because I feel like there's effort put into it, but there's not a lot of experience that comes with this effort. Perhaps this was the best they could do. It does look unpolished, and the animations look stiff and rough, which is why I'm hoping they spent these last few months touching it up. And also, Swegta had 2 very good commentary videos on Agefield High, so I also hope the devs took some of his notes and implemented it into the game the past few months. I want to play this now, but I'm willing to wait until they feel like they have released a satisfying game. But the eyes look very dead, and they all look very uncanny valley. But I honestly like some of the faces, especially this goth girl who I think looks kind of like London from Sweet Life on Deck. I think she probably has the smoothest looking design out of the game trailers. But I also like some of the colors. It's very oversaturated, but it's also very colorful, which is a nice change of scenery in the modern media, because most movies and games look so dull and gray and dark I can't see shit. Here, I can see everything. Bully was beautiful, but it wasn't bright. It had a more gothic vibe. The weather was always cloudy. They were in New England after all. But at the end of the day, the way a game looks really doesn't matter if the gameplay is fun, and especially if it's replayable. And this is why I'm excited. This specific kind of gameplay is very hard to find. Sometimes I don't want to kill monsters or enemies or jump on barrels or run away and hide from bad guys or play The Sims, because I think The Sims can be kind of boring sometimes. This game, depending on the writing, as long as the writing isn't sexist, this game I can see it appealing to girls. Because good girl games are very hard to find. It's very lacking in the market. They're only made for little kids. And I know that's not a bad thing, having a primary female demographic in game, because female gamers can be very, very loyal because our preferences can be so niche. Animal Crossing and Sims have very dedicated fan bases. But this game and how it might play, it kind of reminds me of those PlayStation 2 Bratz games, which are freaking awesome. I still play them. I still have a PS2 to play them because they're fun. I like life simulators that are open world where I can dress up and walk around and talk to people and do missions and collect things and go to shops to buy items and clothes with some challenge sprinkled in and mini games and side quests. And if there's romance in a game, I like being able to have a choice in it rather than there only being one forced love interest. Here, it seems like we'll have two and can choose who we end up with, and maybe they'll throw in a curve of letting us choose to be single. The first two trailers seemed like they leaned more towards Chloe being the main love interest, while the most recent trailer showed more of Ashley, who is Seth's girlfriend, the main bad guy. So we have those two different love interest archetypes. Chloe is, I guess, the cool, rebellious girl next door. I don't want to say she's a manic pixie dream girl because she appears to be too grounded in reality rather than living in a fantasy world. I predict that this guy with the bat is her father. Plus, oh my god, that bat holding animation is awful. I hope that's something they fixed. Ashley is definitely the hot, popular girl who probably has more depth to her than we think. But I don't think she's a mean girl. If anything, Sam is the mean one, considering she sounds like she's defending everyone here.
I'm just not used to country life yet.
Do you think we're some kind of dumb hillbillies or rednecks?
Also, side note, I'm really glad they changed Chloe's hair. Yeah, she looks older now, but she also looks cooler, and I've been calling her Rogue, which I can only assume this hairstyle was inspired by. The old hairstyle gives a completely different vibe, kind of boring, honestly. And honestly, the game could just be about vibes and atmosphere and talking to friends, because some of my favorite parts in Red Dead Redemption 2 were just chilling at the camp with the gang when they're all in really good moods and happy before everything went to hell. The voice acting is probably going to be awkward. Some of the line deliveries actually sound like those side characters like / classmates in Lollipop Chainsaw.
I got an F in English!
Which was a very campy game. We need more fun and silly games like that, and this could easily fit in. I can see this game being camp. Also, it honestly looks like a PlayStation 3 game, which helps with the retro feel this game is going for. Even if it is an asset flip, which is why the characters look more detailed rather than the environment, the kids looking 35 that actually fits into those movies where they get 28-year-olds to play the teenagers. But Bully was 20 years ago. We all want a sequel, so this company went, fine, I'll do it myself. I just hope the game isn't janky, and also, if you call it a ripoff, then I'll call every first-person shooter after Doom a ripoff, because they all freaking look the same to me, or most of them look the same. First-person shooters aren't really my go-to when wanting to play a game, sorry everyone. I get the vibe that the principal, I think his name is Principal Carpenter, which, by the way, I love that letter they put on Steam whenever it got to 175,000 wish lists. But I get the vibe that he's going to try to teach Sam something, but Sam will end up teaching him something, and I get the vibe he might have a romance with either the Sarah Palin Miss Davidson or Sam's mom, Brianna. If they did that, I would rather him go for the mom, because then that would be too much like Bully with Miss Phillips and Mr. Galloway and Miss Danvers and Principal Crabblesnitch. It doesn't explicitly say it in the trailers, but I was able to find some tweets about it. The girl Axel likes is the goth girl Laura, so they'll probably end up together. Rather than just taking over the school and becoming the cool kids, there seems to be a side plot with Satanists or cultists that's going to involve this guy, and a tweet said that this guy, Ed, is Seth's right-hand man. I can imagine him going on a redemption arc. I don't see this guy just being a one-note bad guy like Seth might be. Most people prefer the bad boys over the asshole jock characters. This game seems like it was made for boys based on how the trailers look, but again, I can see girls liking this, and if that happens, if they do get a primarily female demographic and they make a part 2, then they should make a part 2 with a female main character and male love interest, and like maybe one female love interest for the bisexuals and gay girls. And if you do, please give her long hair. I sadly don't have a PC. I am a PlayStation girl. So when it comes out on Steam, I will definitely be following it, even though I shouldn't spoil myself. but I'm obviously going to check it out. And then sadly wait a few months for it to come out on PlayStation 5. Honestly, I've been thinking about this game so much that I actually had a dream of it last night where Axel was the main character. But it's something I've been looking forward to. I'm more excited for this than I am Grand Theft Auto 6. I no longer give a shit about GTA 6, which I'm glad this is releasing on Steam before GTA 6 comes out, but if the console release comes out in December after GTA 6, I don't see the console version doing well at first because people are going to be so occupied with GTA 6. I really wish I could play this before GTA 6 comes out, but Agefield has my loyalty and my support. When I start playing GTA 6, I will put it down and stop playing it as soon as the console version of Agefield comes out, and I'll focus on that until I'm done and then get back to GTA 6. Sorry, Rockstar took too long and they're too greedy. Also, for the love of God, I hope this company does not become greedy. That is the quickest way to lose your fan base and lose their respect. But I hope the small world feels alive. Quality over quantity. I hope we can go inside most buildings or stores. I hope all of the side characters have a name and you can hear them talking as you walk past them, which I think one of the trailers showed an NPC saying something so random. I think most open world games should always focus on the world building and environment. Making the world and environment feel alive should be a open world game's first priority, which is why Bully and Grand Theft Auto have done so well. Bully felt way more alive than GTA 5 though, and I hope I grow to care about these side characters and NPCs. I love all of them in Bully, and I know most of their names. I hope Sam's house starts to feel like my house. I hope Agefield High feels like a school I want to go to. By the way, I did not go to high school, which is why I probably like these high school games, since it's giving me an experience I did not get. I hope to feel sad whenever the game is over, and I've gotten all the trophies and there's nothing left to do. So no matter how it looks or how it sounds or even how it plays, if it can make me feel all of that, then the game will be an A+ in my book. Also, side note, I did not use AI for this picture. This is something I just found online, which is very clearly AI. This is an AI-free channel, which is why my thumbnails look kind of bad, but there is heart and effort put into them. And I also randomly thought about the Bratz games again. The outside parts where you'd walk around, they were really empty. There would only be like one or two other people there. However, you could go into every single shop. And it kind of reminds me of Agefield with how bright it is. It's so colorful and kind of oversaturated. But the mall kind of felt like its own character. Which, funny enough, I'm talking about a mall because I made 2 Dead Rising videos. But Agefield has the chance to make Agefield High feel like a character. The school can feel like a character because Bullworth was a character. That school was its own person. It was its own persona.
Persona!
Look, even if the game does suck, let's just all pretend to like it and then let Rockstar know that we like it, because then maybe they'll make a Bully too because people will spend money on it. I don't know. But thank you to anyone who watched this, and if you have any game suggestions that are like the Bratz PlayStation 2 games, let me know. Have a fabulous day though.